So Taylor, let's just start with this. The new income-driven repayment plan, they just released this. It's called SAVE. Talk about this and what you've learned about it.
Yeah, so student loan payment or student loan deferment is ending, in quotes. You know, I'm still not
quotes
holding
are
my
gone.
breath.
Quotes
That's
are
what we
gone.
said. That's what we said at the end of 2022, and it still was pushed back.
Oh, you're going along with it, like fool me 87 times and fool me once, fool me 80 times. Yeah.
Yes. So it seems as if student loans are kicking back in, right? And so that's going to happen. The first payment's going to be due October. There's going to be a 6-month grace period where you actually don't necessarily need to make a payment, but interest will start accruing come October. And so between now and that time, if you haven't already, you need to make sure that you've applied for whatever student loan payment plan that you think makes sense or that you've talked about with your advisor. But the biggest announcement that came with this is this new income-based repayment plan called SAVE. And SAVE is meant to replace REPAYE. And they've actually said if you apply and get on REPAYE, you will automatically be switched to SAVE. So you don't have to make any adjustments. Whenever SAVE actually kicks in, you'll make the change from REPAYE to SAVE. So if you're on an income,
I want to know who's in their branding department to come up with all these acronyms. They're so spot on. They're perfect. They're amazing.
Yeah. You know, pay and repay actually stand for something. I think SAVE stands for saving on a valuable education is what it stands for.
Wait, what?
Saving on a valuable education, SAVE program. So for those of you that aren't necessarily familiar with income-based repayment, it's in the name, right? These repayment plans are based off whatever you're making. And previously there was a certain calculation that happened that determined how much you were making, but this new SAVE plan essentially is going to cut, in some instances, your payment by half, meaning whatever you were paying previously, it'll be cut in half. And there's several things that are going on here. They've upped their definition of the discretionary income, right? Before it was 150%. Now it's 225%, meaning you can make more money before you're even the calculation kicks in, right? And then they're out also cutting the payment percentage from 10% to 5%. Now, this is on undergrad loans. Grad loans will still be at 10%, but there'll be a weighted average based off of undergrad versus grad loans. But the biggest difference here is previously on income-based repayment plans, because this was based off your income, a lot of people were making a payment that was not covering the interest that was owed on their loans. So what would happen is any unpaid interest would accrue and would add to your loan value over time. But now with this new SAVE plan, any unpaid interest is being forgiven, is being canceled, is the word they're using. So if you are making a payment, let's say you owe $2,000 in interest, but your payment's only $1,000, right? Normally that extra $1,000 that would have been unpaid interest would have been capitalized to the loan. Now under the SAVE program, it's just canceled. It's forgiven, meaning your loan balance can never ever it can never increase more than what you took out from your loans, right? So this, for a lot of our clients, is hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest savings. I mean, this is, it's just funny to me that there was such a fight over the $10,000 of loan forgiveness.
This is a way bigger impact.
This is bigger.
For our clients, it's a much, much bigger impact.
Yeah.
So this is nothing but good news on the student loan repayment front. This SAVE program is a great, great option. And honestly, it's going to make staying on federal loan programs a lot more advantageous for many of our clients.
I agree. I've got thoughts,
or many dentists in general.
Yeah. Rabih, you're something's churning over there. Your wheels are turning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand, and this is the first time I hear it. And because Taylor started with the good, like, kind of news that you're only going to pay half of what your initial payment is going to be each month. And in my mind, this is actually just extending the period of the loan where more interest is being accrued, right? And I was thinking, where's the catch? Where's the catch? But if I understood correctly, the catch, there's no catch. You just
catch.
You're getting
your
forgiven
payment,
on the remaining interest.
Your payment is less, and any unpaid interest is forgiven. And there is still the 25-year window of if you make payments for that full 25 years, whatever's not paid at the end of that, it's all forgiven.
So, sorry, just for me to make
Ask
sure I
away.
understood this.
Usually it's the one us asking you questions. I love this.
Yeah. So if you decide to just pay half the payment and do nothing else, not overpay, not underpay, you kind of cut your loan in half? Is that what this is saying? Am I understanding it correctly?
So it's based on your income, right? So what I always tell people is an income-based repayment plan is the worst case scenario on your student loan repayment, because what we'd rather have happen is we'd rather have your income increase so much that the percentage has you pay it off regardless, right? Because if your income's so high, regardless of whatever that calculation is, well, you'll eventually pay down your student debt, right? But if your income never does reach a point where you can pay these things off and you are on an income-based or federal program for 20, 25 years, right, this is actually really beneficial to you because any unpaid interest is being forgiven, right? Your loan can never balloon more than the original amount that you took out. And your payment along the way will be smaller than it would have been otherwise.
So to your point, Rabih, with that interest being forgiven or being canceled over the life of that loan repayment, yeah, you could argue that depending on what the rate is, your loan, like to Taylor's point, you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly, especially for a dentist, over that 20 or 25-year period. Taylor, I may have missed this because I know pay and repay are on different time frames,
Yep.
right? Depending on which one you choose and for forgiveness. Is this on the 25 or the 20?
So it's funny, I read like 15 different articles on this and it says 20 to 25 years, which I'm like, is it 20 or 25? But I'm led to believe that it's going to be 25 just based on the fact that pay will still be an option, the 20-year time frame, but repay is being replaced by save.
Save, got it. Which would make sense because that's replaced.
Which would make sense. Yes, it would be the 25-year.
Okay, that's cool. This is a game changer. Like this is huge. Prior to COVID, to your point, Taylor, we used income-based repayment plans as a stopgap. It's a transition state, like part of your life for a dentist. Very rarely, if ever, did it make sense for a dentist, especially with where rates were at the time. Rates were so low, it very rarely penciled to make any sense to stay on an IBR plan over the life of your career and go for forgiveness. Like if you just, spreadsheeted that out, it was a significant difference. Now it's almost the opposite. Rates are up. They've got this new program out. I don't see a world in most cases where it's not going to make sense to go with this plan. Generally, obviously not specific advice, but just generally, it's almost like flipped it completely.
Yeah, our general rule of thumbs that we had pre-pandemic are out the window, right? And the advice that we were giving is completely different now, which is totally fine, right? And I think we sell this. I mean, we don't sell this. We preach this to our clients where we say, hey, student loans is something that you revisit on an annual basis. Just because you make a decision today does not mean that we're not going to revisit this, right? This is several $100,000 worth of debt that we need to be revisiting on a at least annual basis to make sure that we are doing the smartest thing based on your situation.
Yeah. Yes. And there are still situations where your income could get to a place where paying it off sooner is still going to make more sense than waiting that 25-year period. Like it's still going to be situations, but just saying that it's almost flipped it in the sense of before it was like 9.9 out of 10 times it got to a point where a dentist was, we are going to recommend a refinance. Now it's like, I don't know what the percentage is right now, but it's going to be much, much lower.
I have not had a client refinance in probably over 12 months.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
So refinancing is just not a viable option right now. But again, we're talking 25 years here, right? And so for a new grad or someone who's only been doing this for a couple of years, who's to say within the next few years, interest rates don't drop again? And
totally
refinance is another viable option at that point.
Or they come out with another incredible program and acronym. They're running out of acronyms. I don't know what else they're going to be able to come up with for a new program, but this is the third program they've released in the last decade, right?
Yeah.
So who knows in 25 years, what the landscape looks like, but that's awesome. So more to come on this. We are in fact doing we're writing some articles on this. We're going to be releasing more education on this. We'll be talking, if you are a client, we're talking on Friday in more detail around this. So definitely more to come. Thank you, Taylor.